Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Y'all know me, y'all know me, y'all know me. Sometimes it's better for me to go live while I have these thoughts and stuff and use this as a recording versus the any other way. Hold up. Make sure things are working right. All right, y'all hit that like button. If you like what you see, hit the like button for me. All right. We got a lot of news to cover. First, we're going to I got some updates for this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. We saw the other day where Justin had dropped a video pertaining to the charges that he was kissing up on her unwantedly, and all of that other stuff. They dropped that video, and my thoughts in regards to that. Dropping that, trying a case in the court of public opinion, sometimes can backfire on you. I know that he also wanted to he's either in the process or getting ready to be in the process of providing a website with all of the information, the text messages and things like that, to make it easier to digest to his fans. I thought that was a bad idea too, because too much information out there. It's one thing for us to have the information in regards with the lawsuit, but when you start making websites and putting other information on there, it starts looking different. It starts looking weird. And for me, it starts looking like, okay, you're not trying to do a smear campaign, but you definitely are overreacting. So whoever is advising him, I hope that they see it that way. Some people, those of us that are just reading the information out, it does look a little strange that you want to do a whole website. What do you hope to accomplish with that website? What is the end goal? What's going to backfire with you doing that website? I hope that you all are thinking about these things. So, with that being said, let's talk about this Blake Lively news. What we have. Hold on, let me share my screen. Looks like Blake Lively has decided that she don't want to hear that. She does not want to hear about all this information coming out. She is trying to make sure that the information is not coming out the way she doesn't want it to come out. And so it looks like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds request the judge to put a gag order for Justin Baldoni's attorney over improper conduct. So this says improper conduct. Let's see what she's actually saying. This article is from E! News and it's written by Olivia Evans. Let's see what she's talking about. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are seeking further legal protection. The same day, Justin Baldoni's legal team, headed by attorney Brian Friedman, released behind-the-scenes footage of Lively and Baldoni's dance on the It Ends With Us set. The couple's own lawyers issued a letter to the judge, Louis J. Lyman, seeking a gag order for Friedman. In the documents obtained by E! News, Lively's legal team alleges that virtually every day since Lively filed her civil rights complaint, Mr. Friedman has given television interviews, appeared on podcasts, issued inflammatory written statements, and leaked information, including, remarkably, documents as banal as document preservation demands to third parties, to Hollywood press and tabloid media. Again, you see where a PR team is out here working to do all of this. Further, Lively and Reynolds attorneys, who reiterated that Lively issued a cease and desist to Baldoni's Wayfarer Studios to stop their alleged online harassment campaign prior to her filing the December 21st civil complaint, alleges that many of Friedman's public statements not only continued the campaign of retaliation that was the subject of Miss Lively's first cease and desist, but they contain numerous new false statements about Miss Lively's and others. So, in other words, because I don't remember a cease and desist. So this was that part of the 17-point page, that 17-point plan, y'all. Hey, unapologetic December. Yeah. Yeah, because see, stuff is starting to come out because you're not being able to control the narrative like you want to control, like she wants to control the narrative. And like I said, everybody wants to control the narrative, but particularly if you're out here filing lawsuits and saying someone has harassed you sexually, then surely, then surely someone has the right to be able to counteract or defend themselves to that. So what we see right now is that she is wanting the judge to issue a gag order for him. And she's saying that this is all parts of him. That's all parts of him harassing her. So we'll see what the judge says. Well, let me continue this article. The request includes several examples of Friedman's communication to various media outlets with Lively's attorneys, lawyers alleging the list of 10 leaked statements is surely incomplete, in which he calls Lively own statements and legal proceedings unethical, shameful, and false. That's what a good lawyer does. That's his job to rigorously defend his client. Elsewhere in the letter, the attorney notes that Lively submitted a cease and desist letter directly to Friedman, who is an attorney for Baldoni as well as his Wayfair associates, December 23rd, for his continued statements to the press. The document further highlights Baldoni's legal team releasing footage from It Ends With Us to various media outlets, including E! News, as well as their recent statement made to multiple outlets of their plans to launch a website detailing all correspondence and videos to quash Lively's claims. I told y'all, I knew that was going to backfire. I knew that was going to backfire. And it's one thing for your attorney to be out here vigorously campaigning for you and defending you. But it's a whole nother level when you're talking about, oh, I'm going to make it easy for the fans. I'm going to put out a website so you can easily digest the information. It's not for us to easily digest the information. It's for what happens in a court of law for them to digest the information, not for us to easily digest the information. Because what happens is, and I have seen it, you will taint the jury pool. People who would be fantastic on your jury will then be disqualified because they've looked at your whole website of information. So Lively's counsels argue that Friedman's ongoing public comment violate New York State rules of professional conduct regarding trial publicity. I don't know about all that. We'll look that up and see what's going on. As Ms. Lively counsels have attempted repeatedly to caution Mr. Friedman, federal litigation must be conducted in court, and according to the relevant rules of professional conduct, the letter writes, his conduct threatened to and will materially prejudice both the Lively case and the Wayfair case by tainting the jury pool because his statements are deliberately aimed at undermining the, quote, character and credibility and reputation of numerous relevant parties. E! News has reached out to Friedman regarding the Lively Reynolds gag order request, but has not heard back. So, and again, it goes over basically the suit that she had sued. She sued them for harassment. Baldoni then filed a lawsuit against the New York Times, and then he filed a lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and all this other stuff. So, what do y'all think about this? I thought I told y'all I didn't think that this was a good idea for the website. I didn't think that was a good idea for the website. As far as him doing interviews or anything like that, lawyers do interviews. They've always done interviews. I don't have an issue or problem with interviews because it's their job to defend their client, just like it's her attorney's job to defend her. So if he chooses not to do that in a court, because again, you see the PR teams are working. These PR teams are working and getting this information out. Her PR team is, if you look at the battle of the PR teams, her PR team is not working as well as Justin Baldoni's PR team. Now, I'm not telling you all, because again, I tell you all the time, I just report the information as I see it. And I will give my opinion of the information that I give you at the time. It just looks like his PR team and his legal team their strategy as far as information out to the public and how they're presenting the information out to the public is overbearing her information. Let's see who's here. Hey, Kyle. Is that SKNL? Let's see. Hey, okay. That's what I'm thinking too. She wants to control the narrative. But then again, I get it, because this can be damaging for her career. Exactly. And each one of them, because again, you got two people, actually three, all these people's careers are on the line. So if you're going to file these suits, you've got to understand that, there's a chance you will win and there's a chance that you won't win. I think Blake's behind the 8 ball, because a lot of this stuff, in my opinion, I'm not seeing a smear campaign, because you were the one giving the interviews. These were words coming out of your mouth. And so if these are words coming out of your mouth, I don't understand how then someone is smearing you for the words that are coming out of your mouth. Hold on just one moment, y'all. I got to pull something up really quick. All right. Give me one moment. Again, and here's something with words coming out of her mouth.
I'm a geek. See, he laughs at me. Well,
can I just say one thing?
Excuse me. I have blonde hair.
When hot girls say they're geeks, it pisses me off, because I truly am a geek, and I have to live with that. You guys are. Yes, rebuttal.
Excuse me. My best friend and I, when we were in 10th grade, we had like crazy crushes. We would drive around, like stalk these guys. We decided one night to go to the arcade where they were, and I put bronzer all over myself in a Scary Spice fro, so I thought they would think I was like a black girl, and so I could stalk them. My friend dressed up as like this goth girl, and we literally sat outside their houses.
That makes you sweet. No, that makes you sweet and charming.
That's the part of the movie Soul Man.
These are her words in interviews. That is an older interview, still in all, but it's an interview nonetheless. I can't smear you from your own words. These are the words that are coming out of your mouth. Most jurors are old anyways, and they're on in tune. Listen, as long as you are a registered voter, once you get that card, y'all do your jury duty. And that to me is always an issue, because and again, I understand sometimes it's a hardship to do those things, because depending on your state, jury duty cost, and if they haven't upped the cost of jury duty only costs anywhere from, I think the most that I've heard a state do is like $25 to $50 a day. And, some people, that may end up to be a hardship, because some jobs they'll only allow for you to be on jury duty for a week. You think about if you've got to go on do a case that ends up to be, think about that YSL case. Those people were on jury duties for almost over a year. Over a year. So it just depends. In some places, some corporations now are like, oh well, if and most jurors are older and they're retired, because a lot of corporations that people work for will only allow for you to will say, well, we'll only allow for you to be gone for 2 weeks. And if you're gone longer than that, you'll lose your job. So a lot of people who would be on jury, who would be great on juries, they're sidelined because of that. Now that's what each one of our states have to contend with. They need to, you shouldn't lose your job because of the fact that you're on jury duty. She started in the court of public opinion by she released the complaint to the New York Times. Well, yeah, that California civil rights complaint, exactly, because that was sealed. That wasn't supposed to go out to the public. But she released that when she released it to the New York Times. You're correct, and you heard right. You heard exactly what I played. You heard right. Because again, she wanted to stalk someone. Yes, because she had to get her point across that she was a geek. And the guy said, that makes me mad because pretty girls will say that they're geeks when they're not. It's possibly, she says things to be in the moment. And so you see how she went on that whole tangent that she put on her tan. And once again, tanner comes up again. Skin tanner comes up again. I put on the skin tanner and I put on a scary spice wig. And I was stalking somebody. It didn't even make sense to what she was saying. Made no sense. Yeah, it's how you have some people that speak, and because they want to be the center of attention, they will say whatever. And apparently this was an older interview and it just flew over the heads of everybody. It flew over the heads of everybody. Because again, she gets away with it because she's quintessentially what the United States of America believes is beautiful. And so they give her a pass. Oh, she really didn't mean it. That's one interview. Now that was an interview probably 10 years ago. Maybe longer than that. In every interview we've seen her thus far, she still has that air about her. You ask her a question and she's very snarky and sarcastic and condescending. Yeah, but you heard what he said. Oh, pretty girls is, oh, I'm going to give you a pass because, it was more of, he gave her a pass because she told them what basically they wanted to hear, that these hot girls that they want them too, but they're just playing hard to get. But what do y'all think about that? More and more information keeps coming out in regards to this whole situation. I will tell you, I don't know. It's a lot. Just want to go back over quickly. Also in the news this week, as far as celebrity legal news, we have ASAP Rocky. His right now they're in the process of sitting a jury. They probably will have that jury set before the end of the day. And so ASAP Rocky is in California. He's got several counts of assault with a weapon. And this case is really, really funny to me. Yesterday, before the court proceedings started, the judge offered a plea. Well, the prosecution offered a plea deal that he would plead guilty. He will spend 180 days in jail. He'll have 3 years probation, community service, and something else. And he turned that down. He said no. So let's look through this article. Let me make sure real quick that Let's see. All right. So they're still sitting the jury. I was going back and looking over what Megan Cuniff, because she is in the courtroom, along with Mel from I'm Not a Lawyer, but they're in the courtroom and they're tweeting information out. It looks like it's the second day. That there's going the lawyer has revealed in court for the first time yesterday that a witness will testify that Rocky had a prop gun on him when prosecutor says he fired shots. So we will see what's going to happen, but let's get back to this article real quick. And this is what to know about this case, because these incidents happened, I think, in September, October of 2021. So let me go off the cuff real quick to tell you what I remember about this case. So somebody because ASAP Rocky is a part of this ASAP group. Everybody in their group, their first name begins with ASAP and then another name. So you have there's like ASAP Melly, ASAP Rocky, ASAP Relly, ASAP doing the ones and twos, and I'm just making that person up. But there's a whole group, and they've been together since high school, and they have a conglomerate together. They all do rap or different parts of the entertainment industry. This was their group and their conglomerate. Well, apparently somebody either passed away in their group, and ASAP Rocky, who at the time was the most popular person at that time and the one making money, had made statements that, because that person had passed away, and I don't think that person had a whole lot of money, that he'd pay for the funeral. He'll help the family pay for the funeral. And apparently, I think the family did some of the funeral cost or anything like that. And it was just a matter of them getting together and getting the money or something together. Well, ASAP really got upset about that, you made these promises. And so I guess there was some back and forth in group text messages. I'm not really sure. But there was some back and forth with it. Apparently, ASAP Rocky was in Los Angeles along with ASAP Rocky. They had a little tete-a-tete about it. They started fighting, and this is when this incident happened. Right, that's when the shooting happened. Apparently, how this case got into the eyes of Los Angeles, the state of California, was the fact that ASAP Rocky was suing ASAP Rocky for his medical bills. He said he had to go to the hospital and anything like that. He had to go because he left Los Angeles. ASAP Rocky, the person who is the victim in this case, he left Los Angeles, got on a plane because he claimed he was shot in the finger. And there is a bit pictures of where you could see that he had been injured. And he said that I guess the pain was so unbearable that he went to the emergency room, and now he has a bill, and he was wanting to have ASAP Rocky pay for the case. And then they started asking questions and stuff like that. That got hold of California. They said that California went out to the crime scene to find crime scene evidence. They didn't find any. And then ASAP Rocky goes back out to the crime scene, and he ends up finding shell casings and stuff like that. Now, mind you, the state didn't find any evidence initially, but ASAP Rocky was the one that found the evidence. So let me go over and read what the AP is talking about. This is written by Andrew Dalton. Okay. It says ASAP Rocky is at a crossroads. He could soar to new heights of celebrity or be brought back to earth quickly with a trial starting on Tuesday. The hip hop star and the long-term partner to Rihanna is set to touch the highest level of high fashion as one of the celebrity chairs of the Met Gala in May. Ooh, he might not make it. Along with Pharrell Williams and LeBron James. And his modest, but let's go down here. I don't like to read all that background stuff. But at the Los Angeles trial that expected to last about 3 weeks, he is charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. He is accused of firing on a former friend in the streets near a Hollywood hotel in 2021. If convicted, he could get up to 24 years in prisons. I will also tell you all that during the time that they were making that plea deal, the prosecution told him that they were not going to ask for anything less than 10 years. The 36-year-old has pleaded not guilty, and his attorney says he committed no crime. We are ready to go. It's been a long time, defense lawyer George Tacopina said after a hearing Wednesday. It is something that's waiting over Rocky's head and Rihanna and their family's head for a while. We're anxious to get this thing underway and get this behind him. So the trial has its roots in the high school in New York when the Harlem-raised Rakim Mayer, who is A$AP Rocky, met Terrell Efron, who is known as A$AP Relly, would be the trial's most important witness. He testified at a 2023 preliminary hearing that he brought Rocky into a crew of young creators who call themselves A$AP, always strive and prosper. We had dreams pretty much, Efron said. He testified that the members remained close even as Rocky became rich and famous, but the relationship would erode. The feud came to head on Hollywood on the night of November 6, 2021, when, according to Efron, Rocky fired 3 times at him, and the shots grazing his knuckles. Efron went to the police 2 days later and brought shell casings he picked up himself. Both points of defense will seize on. You need nothing more than Mr. Efron's testimony by itself, says Deputy District Attorney Paul, and I won't try to butcher his name. The case lead prosecutor told a judge at the 2023 hearing. The trial is full of large personalities, along with 2 huge names that will loom over the proceeding, despite having no direct role, which is Donald Trump and Rihanna. Let's see. So this is pretty much talking about Rihanna. They're making it all about Rihanna. So let's get to the evidence against A$AP Rocky. The case against Rocky will largely depend on how credible the jurors find Efron. Police officers who searched the Hollywood sidewalk after a report of shots fired found no shell casings. So they searched the sidewalks the night that they heard that there were shots fired. Police recovered no fingerprints from the 9mm casings Efron brought them, and no 9mm pistol was found when a search warrant was served on Rocky. Surveillance videos captures parts of the incident. Prosecutors at the 2023 hearing showed a video still with a man in a hooded sweatshirt whose face was not visible, holding what appears to be a gun, along with another image showing the face of the man in the sweatshirt with no gun visible. A detective testified that investigators established that it was Rocky. So there is a video, and I don't know if I have it, y'all. Let me check real quick. Because that was so long ago. All right. Now, which A$AP? And there's the gun. And then we go to another camera, and they say that this person is A$AP. They need to say Rocky or Relly, because everybody is an A$AP. There appears to be a scuffle running. They are loud in that courtroom, aren't they? And then you hear the two shots. What do y'all think about that? He's got a lot to overcome in regards to this. We'll definitely see what happens with this. All right. Surveillance video, this is what we saw, captured part of the incident. Prosecutors at the 2023 hearing showed a video still with a man with a hoodie. Okay, we read that. A detective testified that investigators established that the person with the gun was ASAP Rocky. Tacopina said he has not decided where Rocky will testify, which he's illegally allowed to avoid. He's eager to tell his story. So we will definitely see. Definitely see how he fares to this, because if you saw my video that I did on this ASAP Rocky, this was probably earlier last year, probably almost 2 years ago now. I just like, you too old, and this was all around the time, I don't know when exactly it was, but y'all get too old. Not that you should be doing any type of things like that when you're young, but you notice how things can always come back to bite you. And now you're looking at spending 10, up to 20 something years in jail over a little kerfluffle that didn't have to happen. Didn't have to happen at all. Y'all could have just talked on the phone, cussed each other out, and it had been over with. I don't know exactly, but apparently ASAP Rocky feels like he has a good defense and he is not going to have any issues or problems. That's a lot to bank on when you have two small children. I don't know if I would have taken the deal or not, particularly if I knew that I wasn't guilty of anything, and particularly when the evidence seems a little shaky, particularly if the police went out there initially to look for evidence before they knew who did what, and they didn't find any evidence. How was ASAP really going out able to find evidence that he didn't find? And why did he pick it up? They didn't find they didn't find any of ASAP Rocky's fingerprints or DNA or whatever it is that they have to find. From what I understand, that they haven't found anything that tied him into those shell casings. Goodness. And they have not found a gun. So they have a lot to build up on. So we'll see. We'll be following it. We'll be following those people that are in the courtroom that can report what they see from the courtroom live. So what do y'all think about this case? Let's see. Thank you, Unapology. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. That really helps with my engagement. A reminder, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively married. Baby. And and this is the thing. And you all might find me to be very thin about that. If you are that way, if you are who you are, just live in that truth. I'd rather you be authentic. I'd rather know that you don't care for me because my skin color is darker than yours. I'd rather know it so I know how to handle you than for you to be in my face, kiki and smiling and knowing that behind my back, you're calling me every word but a child of God. But yes, that did happen. But you intentionally did that. You see what I'm saying? You do the things that you want to do, and that's fine. But stand in it, because didn't that Underwood girl, didn't she get married at the same place or something similar? Carrie Underwood, she just stand in it. That's where you wanted to get married. And that's coming from a young lady that you knew that was from California. She was a California girl. So she had dreams of getting married at that place. And lastly, people, I do want to be able to go over this story. And I'm just going to be brief and overview it. I'm not going to get in here and try to go into deeper because there is just not right now enough information from me. What I know is this. Chris Brown, he files a $500 million defamation lawsuit over the documentary, A History of Violence. And he says it's full of lies. Apparently, this documentary, I have not watched it. Just like I have not watched the P. Diddy documentaries, I'm just not going to watch it. I want to hear what they have in court, because I have issues with the Puff Daddy, P. Diddy thing. I have issues with all those people. I feel like they all were enablers, because now you want to come in and tell your story about all the stuff that's happened. But I'm sorry. You knew that there were things going on. And like I said, these are things that the public has known in regards to Sean Combs for decades. But no one had any concrete proof. But who knew that the concrete proof was sitting at his home? And who knew that the concrete proof was sitting with all these other people? But now all of a sudden, everybody knows what happened. Everybody has the commentary on that. And I'm like, why you didn't have this commentary sitting in a police station talking to the police? So I'm not trying to give in to any of that sensationalism. I just have an issue with that. If you knew something, then you should have said something. Or at the least, you could have written an anonymous letter and said, this is the information that's going on. I don't know what is going on with Billboard, where the screen just keeps moving like it does. All right. So according to this, he's filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers Discovery, and I think that's HBO Max, because I think that's where the video was being shown. It was filed on Tuesday in the Los Angeles Superior Court. The complaint accuses Warner Brothers Discovery and Ample Entertainment, the production company behind. Oh, this bothers me. I don't know exactly what is going on. Where am I? Behind Chris Brown, A History of Violence, of promoting and publishing false information in their pursuit of likes, clicks, downloads, and dollars. All while knowing that it was full of lies and deception and violating basic journalistic principles. They did so after being provided proof that their information was false, and their storytelling, Jane Joe, had not only been discredited over and over, but was in fact a perpetrator of intimate partner violence and the aggressor herself, reads the lawsuit. When I get the lawsuit, we will definitely read it. That's why I don't want to go too far deep in here, because he's saying, now, let's be clear, and we're not going to be silly and not understand that Chris Brown has a history of he has a history of DV, not only with Rihanna, but with his other girlfriend, what's her name, Karrueche Tran. We have seen evidence of him and all of this going on, all of this goings on. So he's got a history of that, but he is saying that anything that has to do with SA, he didn't have anything to do with that. And there was proof to show that he didn't have anything to do with that. And again, they were doing this whole documentary for clicks, views, and lining their pockets. But until I get a hold of the lawsuit, I'm not going to read too much into all of these little things, because, you know, I love to read a good lawsuit. So let's see what's going on out here. The ASAP Rocky prosecution is really about the prosecutorial discretion. How many times have we seen prosecutors refusing to prosecute racists over assault and battery on a Black victim? That's true. Because again, this case came up, or the reason why that they're prosecuting this case, because this case came up during where ASAP Rocky was suing ASAP Rocky for his medical bills. And then all of a sudden, when it's told that he has the evidence and all this other stuff, everybody kind of jumped up like, oh, okay, wait a minute, hold up. So this is going to be, and so they see the information that they had. They didn't piece 1 + 1 = 2 or anything like that. So this is going to be an interesting case, because you're right. It's about the discretion. You know, they will tell you that they were not going to prosecute this person because they see that it's we deem it to be self-defense, or we're not going to prosecute it there because we don't have enough evidence. But this looks like a case that they don't have that much evidence, and they're trying to prosecute this case. And you know it's something, because that was the deal that they had given is a great deal, because they knew that they didn't have that much. I don't think that they have that much evidence, and maybe that's what ASAP Rocky is banking on. We'll never know. We'll see. Well, I can't wait to get the information coming out of the courtroom to see where they're heading at this point. But what do you all think about this? What do you think about Blake Lively deciding that she wants to that her camp is wanting a gag order against Justin Baldoni? Because he is wanting to put up a website, and his attorney is releasing evidence to counter the information that she has put in her lawsuit. What do you think about that? At this point in time, what I'm going to do is, when I get off this stream, I'm going to put up a poll in my community page on YouTube, and I want you all to be in that community poll. I'm going to ask, as of right now, from the lawsuits, from reading Blake Lively's lawsuit, from reading Justin Baldoni's lawsuit with the New York Times, and reading Justin Baldoni's lawsuit with against Blake Lively, also reading the lawsuit between Stephanie Jones against Baldoni and Wayfair, and the one person that was employed by her that left her employ. From us reading all of those different lawsuits and the information that has come out, and even any type of interview that we have seen in regards to Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, even factoring in whatever you think about Nice Pool, also factoring in, because I've seen TMZ has stopped Justin Baldoni when he was coming back from Hawaii. Factoring in all the information that you have at this point, I'm just going to put in there, who do you think is more credible at this point? When you look at all the information that you have ingested, that we have ingested, who do you think, whose version is more credible? And y'all let me know. Also, this is what I want to hear from you as well. I guess I'll put another one in there too. What do you think happened with the cast? Why is the cast? Why is Colleen? Because they're in Blake Lively's camp, from what I understand. What do you think that they know that we don't know? Good, bad, or indifferent? I'm curious about that. These are the questions that I have. What do you think the cast knows that we don't know? Because we've read we have read pretty much all the text messages, and we have some sort of a idea of what's going on. I'm real curious to know what Justin had provided for us, this behind the scenes information. See, I'm real interested in all of that. What does the cast know? How was he interacting with the cast? What was going on? I'm real curious about that. I'm real curious to see how he was interacting with the cast. All right, people. We do this every week. Again, I'll come. I try to be. As I try to be as fair as possible as far as when I do these live streams. I try to give you all as much notice. But sometimes when I just get the information, I make my thumbnail and everything after I have the live stream, because I want to get this information out. And I do appreciate you all rocking with me and coming in and listen to you. But again, I'm going to put that poll up. So make sure that you all answer that poll for me. I really appreciate that. Helps with my engagement to know that, where are we as the viewing public on this. Let's see. Maybe you already know and said it, but what do you think of the author leaving Instagram? Colleen, I didn't know she left Instagram. Were they blowing out her page on Instagram? Because the biggest question that I have for her is, you've been working with somebody. What was that point that you decided that working with this person was no longer effective and you wanted to work with Blake? But no, I was not aware that she had she left Instagram. We are talking about Colleen, aren't we? Kyle, we are talking about Colleen. Oh, were y'all blowing up her Instagram asking her questions? Mm-hmm. I figured. Because people are now asking questions. People are starting to ask questions, because usually when all of these things come out, we are 2 million followers, and she said deuces. She could have just cut her comments off. Interesting. Because she could have just but she could have just cut her comments off. She could have just cut her comments off, but that's interesting. She wants to go ghost. So what do you all think? What do you all think about Blake Lively requesting the judge to put a gag order on Baldoni's attorney? What do you all think about this ASAP Rocky trial? Do you think that the prosecution has a case, or are they trying to save face because they didn't find out about what was going on until a civil lawsuit had been filed? What do you all think about Chris Brown and his filing of a lawsuit in regards to a documentary that was shown, I think, on HBO Max about his propensity for abuse? And he's saying that the production knew that it wasn't true, even when he provided information to show that it wasn't true. What do you think about that? And I'm beginning to get really discouraged about journalism and how they're doing it, putting things. And I probably know that journalists get sued all the time, but this is just information. This is a lot. And you're right. In the past year and a half, there's a lot of lawsuits that are coming out for that. And I think it's, in my opinion, it is when that journalists started trying to be the news instead of just reporting the news, and they try to be the story, part of the story. I think that's where we're going wrong, because everybody is trying to be in entertainment and try to do that. I wish they would get back to reporting the news as they report the news. Now, let's not be crazy, because there's a lot of journalists out here doing that, and they're reporting the news and getting everything done. And then we also see the symbiotic relationship between PR teams and journalists, and how they're leaking information, and the PR teams are the quote unquote sources instead of them actually digging for the information themselves. The PR teams just feeding them the information. And that has been fascinating to me, because when you go back to a lot of stories and things like that with these celebrities and things like that, and how this information comes out, you're starting to think, wow, is it the PR teams controlling the narrative, or is it actually what's going on? Because everything that's out here is about controlling the narrative. Because you remember how they used to say, any publicity is good publicity. So however you're controlling the narrative, as long as your mouth, they're talking about you, that's a good thing. I don't know about these days, because a lot of these things that these people are doing and saying, you can kind of see that either it goes beyond just he says, she says stuff. There's a lot of stuff at stake, because you look at this Justin Baldoni and this Blake Lively thing. You remember I told you all that Blake Lively and Ryan Lively together, I think, are worth $370 million. And then here you have a lawsuit against you for $400 million. If that doesn't work out, you are basically bankrupt. And then your cachet in Hollywood is destroyed. And you think about Justin Baldoni, he's worth what, approximately about $5 million. And I don't know how much he's worth right now with the It Ends With Us, how well it did in the studio, how well it did in the theaters. I don't know exactly how much money he has from that particular venture, but I don't think he's in the $300 million range. And so you're looking at the fact that, let's say that he has $25 million, he loses, he could be bankrupt, have to lose his stake in Wayfair, and then he probably has to sell the rights or give away the rights to the It Ends With Us to be able to pay his debts. So these are very, very high stakes to be playing. Because I don't play in court. I don't believe in playing in court. When you're going to court, you're going to court because you really truly believe that what's going on is going on, and you want to be able to fight for yourself or fight for others or whatever. So this is fascinating to me, because these stakes to me are high. I don't take it lightly that these stakes are high. ASAP Rocky, you're looking at the fact that you may spend 10 or 15 years in jail. And that's away, because you have 2 children. That's away from your 2 children. You are going to miss their formative years, where it's important that your input be in there, because over some foolishness. Chris Brown, the chickens have come home to roost, because you've had bad behavior, because we can believe bad behavior in one turn. People are apt to believe bad behavior in another turn. They try to get us as much as they can, but we're getting smarter. Yeah. Because you think about this, 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, if a lawsuit would have come up, people would have folded real quick, because they wouldn't want any information to come up, because discovery, when you have to go through discovery for these lawsuits, it is craziness. Absolute craziness. But anyway, thank you all so much for rocking with me. Y'all, I'm going to get this thumbnail up for you all, and then I'm going to put that poll up. I am planning to do my next live that I am planning to do is going to come up on Saturday, 3:30 Central Standard Time. We're going to do I've got some guests that are coming up. We are going to talk about the Drake lawsuits. We're going to do kind of like a small deep dive. I think I've read the Drake lawsuits already. I've already went over that. But we're just going to talk about the lawsuits, what we think about it. We're going to talk about the beef. We're going to talk about all of that and how it's coming up, and how is that going to affect Kendrick Lamar when he does the Super Bowl next month. We're going to, I've got 2 guests that are coming up, that are scheduled to come up, and we're going to discuss that. So anything else, unless it's something juicy, y'all, because if it's something juicy that comes up, definitely I'm going to come back live. But anyway, y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. I will see you on live at 3:30 on Saturday. And as always, people, bye-bye.